I think, and this might shock some people, that Thor Ragnarok is my favorite new Marvel movie.
Your favorite?
My favorite. I'm as surprised as you are.
A Thor movie is your favorite movie?
Yeah, right?
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. Is this because you just love Jeff Goldblum? Is this a Jeff Goldblum thing?
Okay, I know, yeah, a lot of people out there are totally gonna think that, and I get that, but it's not my Goldblum bias that's driving this. I mean,
Goldblum bias!
it's a part, I mean, I do have a Goldblum bias. I'm not gonna deny it. But at the same time, I just loved this movie. It had everything that I want in a Marvel movie. It had everything I want in a superhero movie. It was so much fun. It was just, like, visually just so appealing.
Where are we?
You have no idea. Hela, the Goddess of Death, has invaded Asgard.
Oh, I've missed this.
Comic book girl, I just have to say that I love what you're doing with your hair today.
Oh, thank you.
You've got some kind of bun on the top of your head. It's very adorable, and it complements your egg-shaped head nicely.
Yeah, I think so too. I've gotten a lot of compliments on this new thing I've been trying.
Okay, alright, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
It was really a big hit at the PatreCon party.
It's time that we addressed the scheme that Space Brain's been running here.
A scheme.
Yeah, we all know about it at this point, and he's been acting all nice and innocent.
Uh-huh.
The audience is getting a little fed up, and it's getting old.
Fed up with what? What's the scheme?
The scheme is that Space Brain just gives you easy questions to talk about yourself. He never gives you the hard-hitting questions that I ask that are way better.
Uh-huh.
And he's a little weasel, and he's up to no good.
He's up to no good.
Yeah.
Is that right? Space Brain, how do you feel about that? How does that hit you?
I just was celebrating how good of a movie, and I love it when you get excited about a movie that you like. It's so refreshing.
It's true.
See, there, he's doing it again. There, see?
You know, it's okay. You guys are two different ends of the spectrum, and both of you, you know, I feel like keep me fair and balanced.
Oh, you're just gonna take Bill O'Reilly's tagline now that he's
Yeah.
off the air?
Yeah, I'm taking it. Nobody else is using it.
Yeah, I like it. The Comic Book Girl 19 show, fair and balanced.
Yeah, fair and balanced. As I was saying, Thor Ragnarok has become my new favorite Marvel movie.
Your new favorite.
My new favorite. And that's in part due to the fact that there has been a tonal shift.
Tonal shift.
I felt like the first two Thor movies really struggled, and they were some of my least favorite Marvel movies.
Interpreting Asgard differently.
Yes. And I think it's due to three different factors.
3 factors.
One of them being Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy really embraced the cosmic weirdness of Marvel. They got
Cosmic weirdness.
a lot weirder with it, and audiences loved it. It tested great.
I loved it. I tested great.
And so this time around, they took that cosmic weirdness and put that into this movie, which totally works. Like, make Asgard more a part of that cosmic weird thing. It's totally great. Second,
Number 2.
Jack Kirby.
Who's that?
Jack Kirby is the man, the myth, the legend behind the modern Marvel universe as you know and love it. He was a collaborator with Stan Lee, arguably did even more for the Marvel universe than he did. Supposedly, who knows for sure. I did a whole Greater Creators episode on him.
And how did he factor into the movie?
His art style factored into the movie. Like, his Jack Kirby aesthetic is just seen throughout this entire film.
Aesthetics.
I love his aesthetic. I love that they translated his aesthetic, and it just works for me on like every level. It's so good. And then third, Taika Waititi as the director. I think that he was an amazing choice. I think that he's definitely a weird choice, and he works flawlessly. I'm so pumped for him.
Taika.
I love his sense of humor. I really enjoy his directing. I think he's a really solid director. I'm so excited for him with all the success that he's having.
I'm not a queen or a monster. I'm the goddess of death.
As an artist, I want to talk about the art design. I want to start with that.
Art design?
Art design. I'm very sensitive to aesthetics, and man, my little eyeballs just could not get enough of the art design of this movie. Visually, it was so appealing, And as I previously just stated, it's because they really took a lot of influence from Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby's designs, especially in the 60s and 70s, are just so bold. They're so graphical. They're so beautiful. They're so much fun. They're so colorful. It's hard to explain, like, genius fucking drawings, but like that's what they are.
And this movie took inspiration from that?
And this movie took the best inspiration from that.
Best Jack Kirby ever.
Best Jack Kirby ever. And after seeing this movie, it's just like, you guys, like, why haven't you been doing Jack Kirby like the whole time? Because after seeing the Jack Kirby inspired like sets and costumes and spaceships and everything, wardrobe, it's obvious. It's so perfect.
Best Jack Kirby ever.
Best Jack Kirby ever. And I'm so glad. I'm so proud of my boy seeing his art design shine through in this movie.
Jack Kirby is your boy.
He is my boy.
Give it up to your boy.
Yeah, it's your boy, Jack Kirby, and I'm here in Thor Ragnarok, and I love it!
What else did you like?
Other things I like was Thor's lightning design.
Best lightning Thor ever.
Best lightning Thor ever, with the eyes and the bzzz going all around. It was so good. It was like, it was killing me. Also, I loved the hammer twirling. We finally got to see him just like twirling that hammer. And like, again, that's another Jack Kirby thing. I mean, that's all Jack Kirby. And like, they made it look so fucking cool.
Best hammer twirling ever.
In that first scene where he's fighting all those like fire demons and shit, is just...
Love that first scene.
It was insane. Also, Sakaar looked amazing.
Sakaar. What's Sakaar?
They had the planet where they land on, the trash planet.
Trash planet. Love the best trash planet ever.
Best trash planet, best trash. I mean, I loved seeing all of this like sci-fi technology Kirby trash all over this planet. Like, it looks so good. It reminded me a little bit of Fifth Element, you know?
Oh, you're right.
Mobius is another one of those like great like master draftsmen, you know, just like Jack Kirby, and it was just like, so good.
Beautiful trash.
Beautiful trash. The spaceship designs. Are you kidding me? These are the best spaceships.
Best spaceships ever.
Best spaceships ever. I thought that the Guardians of the Galaxy spaceships were great, and then I saw this movie and I'm like, how do you like us so good? Like Valkyrie's ship, like I would drive that around so hard.
Like the runway that came out was so cool.
The runway was so cool where it was like whoosh and came together, and like the guns that were, she could also do the guns on her ship with her hands. Like that was like
best guns on a ship ever.
Also really loved the Grandmaster's like blade ship, that little round red and yellow deal that was running around that has like the "It's my birthday" button and the fucking fireworks.
It's my birthday button.
So fuck man, I was like, I need that on my car.
I need that button on me.
I need that button on me too. Yeah, totally. And also, I mean, even just like the background ships, like there was just like these box ships, you know, going around. Everything's just so geometric, going back to the Jack Kirby thing. Like they just took all this inspiration and just looks so good. I loved it. Also, the music was really great in this. I loved hearing Magic Sword. They're an amazing new retro wave band that was like so sick, perfectly worth the cosmic stuff. Also, Mark Mothersbaugh did a great job with the fucking score. And let's not even talk about, actually let's talk about it, the Led Zeppelin immigrant song usage. Perfect usage of Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
I love Led Zeppelin.
Best music ever.
Fuck yeah, and it's also introducing a whole new generation of Led Zeppelin, which I'm excited about.
What about the costume design?
The costume design was popping off, all right? The costume design was so good in this. It just like made me so happy. All the extras looked amazing. I love those girls with the fucking thing, the ball on top of their head, and like...
Best balls on head ever.
Oh my god, and like all those like little guard dudes with like the big square fucking helmets was so Kirby. I mean, it was just all fucking so good. It just knocked my socks off. Knocked my socks off.
Period, and that's it.
And that's it.
Let's talk about the characters.
Let's talk about the characters.
Which characters did you like?
Well, let's start with Thor. And in this movie, he really shined. The thing that surprised me and the thing that I liked most about his character in this movie was how aware he was of feelings and relationships.
How so?
Well, like, specifically with the Hulk and Bruce Banner. You know, when he first faces the Hulk in the gladiatorial arena, instead of first trying to fight him, he tries to get the Hulk to turn back into Bruce Banner using their, like, sun going down situation. And, like, I love the look that he gives the Hulk right before the Hulk was like, no, and, like, hits him in the face, where he's just like, he chooses love. He chooses love first, but that doesn't work, so he's like, okay, fine, I'll fight you. And later on, when you see him and the Hulk in their apartment, on the bed, and he's like, the Hulk's like, no, you don't like me, like, you just like Banner, nobody liked the Hulk, and he's like, no. But then later on, when you see Bruce Banner and him, and Bruce Banner's like, you're just using me to get to the Hulk, and that's gross. He's like, no. Like, it was just so cute. And I loved how much he was talking about feelings and like how much he cared and how aware he was of that.
My favorite was the snake story.
Oh, the snake story was the best. That was absolutely the funniest thing in the whole movie, for me personally.
What was the snake story?
Thor is talking with Valkyrie and Hulk about whether or not they should include Loki in their group, because Loki, you can't really trust him, right? And he was saying that...
In the Avengers?
Yeah, in the Avengers. And he was saying that one time when they were kids... Loki turned himself to a snake because he knew that Thor liked snakes. And then when Thor went to like pick up the snake and like play with the snake, he turned into Loki and surprised him and said, it's me, and then stabbed him. And it's like so funny on so many levels, especially that like Loki's worse than a snake. Like I was thinking that as the snake he would bite him, but no, he turns into Loki and then says it's me and then stabs him. Like those so...
Oh, and did you hear the story that scene was supposed to be played completely differently originally?
Yeah, I heard that. And this is a story from the comic books that they were gonna like do this flashback and show it. But then when they were doing the actual scene, like Chris Hemsworth improvised it so well, like the way he told the story was so funny that they didn't even need to do the flashback. And I agree with that. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it
So
was
neat.
really funny. It's really funny. Chris Hemsworth is funnier.
Handsome, ripped, and good looking.
Yeah, and
Just like me.
Just like you. And also, I did really appreciate that shirtless scene that they gave us with him. That was really nice. Dude's been working on his body for a while now, so I can tell.
Well, have you seen these buttons lately? Rock hard buttons.
Rock hard buttons. Yeah, well, I did see those like big muscles like come down on Thor, and I was like that emoji of the two eyes,
Is that what you did?
Yeah, I did. I was creeping a little bit.
And what did you think about Loki?
I'm a big fan of Tom Hiddleston as Loki. I think that he is a perfect casting for this. I think he's just like super hot as Loki. Like I normally am not about Tom Hiddleston. Yeah.
What is it with girls and Tom Hiddleston?
Well, that's the thing. It's like I'm not a Tom Hiddleston girl. Like I'm not normally into that. But like when you give him that Loki wig and the outfit and the mischievousness, I'm just like, oh. Again, it's those eyeball emoji. Yeah, and it's crazy is that like Tommy Wiseau black fucking hair. Man, it looks kind of ridiculous, but it totally works for me. But I really loved Loki in this movie. I really like Loki as a character in general. And in the comic books, yes, he's a villain, but not always, And in fact, lately he's more of a good guy. Like he's been more of like on the good guy side. Like he's like a reformed baddie. Like he's trying to figure it out, but you still can't trust him because he's got a mischief. I mean, what do you want? But I loved in this movie that we finally got to see him and his brother working together, kicking ass side by side. And yes, there were still like double crosses here and there. But at this point, it was such a great evolution to see that Thor already knew that he was going to do some bullshit, and so like he already kind of like knew how to deal with the situation, and I thought it was great. And I love that on Sakaar, Thor immediately becomes a prisoner, he's going to turn into a gladiator, all this shit. And when he gets to the Grandmaster's palace, when he's in that chair, he sees that Loki is also there, but Loki's like totally schmoozing and like drinking with everybody at the Grandmaster's house. And it's just like, yeah, I've curried favor with this guy. Like, so good. Because he is better socially than Thor is, And that was another thing that I loved about the movie is like Thor was constantly like fucking up Loki's plans, where Loki was just like, shut up, stop talking. And Thor would be like, I know this guy. And it's just like, no, like you're gonna fuck up our whole thing. Like, it was so good.
Oh, because Loki had already won favor and gotten in.
Yeah, Loki was trying to get in on the inside, He's like an infiltrator. And like, I like that, because I'm kind of an infiltrator. Like, I like to infiltrate. Not to mention the fact that Loki is tied up in all of these movies. There's always some kinky bondage shit going on with him.
I liked The Incredible Hulk.
So good. I had so much fun with the Hulk and Bruce Banner.
We've only really seen Bruce Banner in 3 movies.
Yeah, and also we've always seen him as this tragic character on Earth where everything sucks and like, I don't want to be with you, Black Widow, because I could kill you, and it's this whole thing. He's just a fucking problem, and Bruce Banner feels that problem. He feels the weight of that, and he feels like he doesn't fit in, and everything sucks for him, and everything sucks for Bruce Banner because of the Hulk. But in this movie, we get to see that the Hulk is not a problem everywhere in the universe. Like, I mean, if he's somewhere else, like, there is a place where he can belong. There is a girl that he can hang out with and not destroy.
Hulk is Hulk and loving it.
Yeah, he's Hulk and loving it. And, like, I think that, you know, for me personally, I've felt like people have made me feel like I'm a problem, you know, when I was in the wrong place. But then when I get in the right place, it's fucking awesome and people love me.
You just gotta find the right planet for you.
You just gotta find the right planet for you, dude.
I'm on the same search myself.
I know, it's tough, but it was really cool to see that. Two tiny things I love about the Hulk. One was when Bruce Banner turned back into Bruce Banner, he had those giant beads on, and it was really funny. Like, I can imagine if I was Bruce Banner and I, like, turned into Bruce Banner and I was wearing these giant Hulk beads, like, I would be like, what the fuck? Like, I've been Hulk so long that I have fucking jewelry for me. And also, I love when he put on Tony Stark's clothes and the pants were too tight and he was, like, really, like, aware of his crotch, you know? He didn't want people seeing his crotch like that, and that was really funny. He kept tugging at it.
I want some giant beads for me.
Right. You do need some giant beads.
Tell me about the new characters.
New characters. There's so many new characters in this. Let's start with Korg, our breakout star.
Oh, I love Korg.
Korg was the rock gladiator, who was voiced by Taika Waititi, actually.
He was?
Oh, I didn't know the director did the voice of Korg.
Yes, the director did the voice of Korg. In fact, he's in a lot of his own movies, which I think is adorable, because I would do that too. But I loved him as Korg. I loved to hear a New Zealand accent in this movie. And the best line, which is also the second contender for funniest line besides the snake story, was when Thor was relating to Korg how he lost his hammer. And he used to have this hammer and what a great relationship. And he was like, yes, the hammer would pull me off the ground. And then Korg was like, oh my God, the hammer pulled you off. It was just like, what? Like, I can't believe that joke made it in. Like, I laughed so hard. It was...
I want a Korg movie spinoff.
And I love Korg's little friend, that knife guy, you know, who's constantly doing his little knives.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I want a Korg movie.
And Korg is actually a real character. He is from the Planet Hulk storyline, although he's not as hilarious. Yeah.
I want a Korg movie.
Yeah, and Korg was only supposed to have like one line, but he ended up being so cute that like they put more lines in for him in the movie.
More Korg.
More Korg.
I want a Korg movie spinoff.
Korg spinoff.
Time works real different around these parts. On any other world, I'd be like millions of years old. But here on Sakaar, in any case.
Next new character we're going to talk about is Grandmaster, as played by Jeff Goldblum. Again, obviously I have a bias, but I do believe that he was perfectly cast in this role.
Yes, Grandmaster, best Jeff Goldblum. Space Brain, worst Jeff Goldblum.
And Grandmaster is a character from the comics, coming from all the way from 1969. And he is one of the oldest beings in the universe. He's kind of like one of these weird eternal beings. And he's been around so long that he is obsessed with like gaming, and he like constantly has these games and like plays pawns with all these Marvel heroes. You know, it's something that he does in the comic books. So I think that Jeff Goldblum was perfectly cast in this role because he's also someone who's been around in Hollywood for a long time. I mean, he's like 65 years old at this point, and you can tell that he's just having fun with it. And like, so is the Grandmaster. He just like fucks with people because it's just like fun, and he's just been doing this for so long.
I like the melt stick.
The melt stick. Oh, the melt stick was so good. Third favorite line of the film, third funniest line, where he's talking to his cousin Carlo, and Carlo's been captured. I guess he fucked him over or something. I can't remember the details, but he tells Carlo that he's like, oh, well, I pardon you, Carlo. And Carlo's like, oh, thanks. And then it's like a ... you know, from life. And then sticks him with the fucking melt stick, and Carlo fucking melts, and it was so good.
That was really funny.
It's really funny. I loved it.
What'd you think of the post-credit scene?
Oh yeah, post-credit scene was great. There was a revolution on Sakaar. He gets captured by some people, and he's like, oh, great job on the revolution, guys. Let's all pat ourselves on the back. I'm gonna pat myself on the back because you can't have a revolution without someone to overthrow, you know? Oh, and it was a tie. It was a tie. It was just so perfect.
Valkyrie?
Okay, let's talk about Valkyrie. I did not expect to see Valkyrie in this film. I had no
Valkyrie?
idea. Valkyrie is actually from the comic books. She's an Avenger. She's been around since like 1970, I believe.
Avengers number 83 in 1970.
It was cool to see her show up unexpectedly. I really enjoyed it. Although I will say, my one thing about Valkyrie that I didn't like was her Valkyrie costume. It didn't look anything like, you know, the original thing. That's fine. It's a small criticism.
So, Boba, would you totally bang Hela from the movie? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Bobo says he would totally bang Hela.
Well, I mean, honestly, me too. She was so hot. Hela was amazing. Her helmet was so fucking cool, and that's straight up Jack Kirby design. Like, she looked amazing. Cate Blanchett is so beautiful. Like, oh.
I liked her knife hair.
Dude, I mean, so
knife
good.
powers.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, it was cool to see her, like, throwing swords, but, like, I wish that they had done a little bit more with her. I will say that even though I think that she was one of the stronger Marvel cinematic villains, and even though she looked fucking amazing, and that, I want to cosplay as her so bad, at the same time, I feel like I would like to see a little bit more character development because I like her so much. Because in the comic books, she reigns over a realm called Hell, Hel, and also Niflheim. And so she has under her power all of these souls. You know, these souls of these Asgardians. But like the best souls, the warrior souls, go to Valhalla, right? If you're like a badass warrior.
She wants the best souls?
Yeah, and so in the comics, she's not really trying to take over Asgard. She's trying to get better souls, like from Valhalla, or like even from Midgard, from the Earth realm. She'll try to like steal souls. She wants more souls under her command. And they really didn't do that in this movie, and I felt like they should have done that.
The best souls!
Because in this, she's just imprisoned and not like reigning over her own realm. And fan theory, in the comic books, Thanos is in love with Death, you know?
Death.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if they're gonna make Hela the Death that Thanos is in love with.
Oh, that kind of makes sense.
Maybe. I mean, because what happens to a goddess of death when she dies? You know? Because she supposedly died when Surtur put his fucking...
Well, we didn't see her dead. She could be floating in space, still alive.
That's true. I mean, Asgardians are hard to kill, so who knows for sure. We'll see. But maybe, I'm wondering if we're going to see her reprise her role, only this time as actual Death in Infinity War. But who knows? I mean, I don't know if they're going to tie that whole Thanos death love triangle thing in. And the last new character, who wasn't really a character, but I'm hoping to see as a character, is Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill, who's that?
Well, okay, so Beta Ray Bill isn't really in the movie, but you see, like, on that building where it had all the gladiator heads that was, like, built up, like, the best gladiators, like, his head is on there, one of the heads. So...
Who is this?
Yeah, Beta Ray Bill. He's one of my favorite, like, weird D-list fucking characters in Marvel. I think he's so cool, and...
What's his story?
Okay, so he is a Corbinite alien. He's the last of his species. And he was kind of put in this like weird cybernetic like horse body or something. I don't know. And at one point,
he's half horse man?
Kind of, yeah, it's a bag of cats. And at one point, he fights Thor, beats Thor, and then Odin recognizes that he's not an asshole, that he's like a good guy, because they didn't think he thought he was a bad guy. It was a misunderstanding. And so Odin makes Beta Ray Bill his own Mjolnir, but it's called Stormbreaker. And so that's why he's dressed like Thor and like has the Thor outfit. So he's like an alien who has the powers of Thor because he's badass and he's kind of awesome.
Oh, so then you're implying that there's already a second hammer in the existing Marvel Universe.
Oh yeah, totally. Totes.
And it is really interesting that they imply that Beta Ray Bill was a previous champion of Sakaar.
Yeah, and he would be because he's an amazing fighter. And fun fact, they were thinking about having Beta Ray Bill in Thor Ragnarok, but they didn't find a place for him, and he's too special of a character to just kind of throw in. Like, you need to like really do him justice, so they decided to like not put him in there and maybe put him in there later.
Oh, so we'll see him in the future?
I really hope so. So the MCU has boasted some really great directors, from Jon Favreau to the Russo brothers to Joss Whedon to James Gunn, and now we have our newest breakout star,
Taco Walkie-Talkie.
Taika Waititi.
I was close.
Taika Waititi, yeah. Taika. He's a New Zealander, and he's made a lot of independent films. He's an independent filmmaker. And I don't know, I just really love that weird New Zealand humor. I really love what he brought to this movie. I'm just so pumped for him. I just love seeing people who have talent doing well and rising, and he totally smashed this. And it's just like to go from making these smaller budget movies to making something like this.
Like what budget movies?
I mean, like really small budget movies. Like What We Do in the Shadows is not a big movie, okay? In fact, probably most theaters didn't even play this. It's limited release.
What's it about?
Well, it's about these 3 vampires who are roommates and the mundane aspects of their vampire lives, and it's really funny. And that's something that he brought to Thor that I'm really appreciative of, is the mundane aspects of superherodom. Mundane humor has always been really funny for me, so he brought that.
What's he gonna do next?
Whatever the fuck he wants. Probably. I mean, I feel like whatever he wants. I think that he brings a great new energy to the MCU. I love his use of improv. They do a lot of improv in these scenes, and you can really tell he gives his actors a lot of leeway, and you can just see that they're having so much fun with this.
Yes, I heard him say that he wanted to use most of the script as just a blueprint.
A guideline.
Very good.
And finally, let's talk about the ending of this movie. Everything came together so well. Everything that played in the beginning, like, all fed into this. You have, at the beginning of the movie, Thor defeating Surtur, this fire demon, in order to stop the prophecy of Ragnarok from happening, stop this fucking destruction of Asgard, right? And so as the movie goes along, we have Hela, she comes into play, and we learn that Odin has not been 100% honest with everybody about how he has won the 9 realms, and that he did it with violence and with Hela's help. I mean, it was not a chill, cool thing what he did, you know? I mean, he did it through like murder and war and awfulness. And so when I was watching this film, it reminded me of this quote from Dune. We pay for the violence of our ancestors. You know, there is no escape. And in this movie, you have Thor and Loki absolutely paying for the violence of their father, and that his past has come back to haunt them. And so now the only way to save Asgard is to destroy it, you know, and to let it go. So in the end of the movie, you know, after they try to kick her ass, and they're like, dude, we can't kick her ass, they fulfill the prophecy of Ragnarok, and they put Surtur's little crown in the eternal flame, and then he turns into this giant fucking mountain, bigger than a mountain fucking dude, and then he starts destroying, you know, Asgard and Hela. So I thought it was great. I love that Asgard is not a place, it's a people, and I think that that's true, and that in order to continue, they had to let go of their past, and they had to let go of their land and start anew. Another thing I loved is when Thor is coming up against Hela, that he's getting his ass kicked, and he has this vision of his father. Odin comes to him, and he's like, you know, I can't do it. And Odin is like, you're not the god of hammers, you're the god of thunder, you know? And then the fucking thunder comes out, and the lightning and all that shit. And the fucking immigrant song comes back on, and it was just so sick. And then you have not only Thor destroying Hela with some rad thunder, you have Hulk beating up that fucking crazy wolf dog, and then you have Loki and Valkyrie on the ground, like, trying to help the people on the bridge, and then you even have Scourge coming in. I mean, Scourge comes in, and, like, his death scene is actually his death scene from the comic books. He does die defending a bridge with 2 guns in the comic books, although it's a different bridge, and it's
Best
a different
ending
situation.
ever.
Yeah, it totally came together. I was really impressed. I just love it when it all comes together, you know? It's just such a good feeling. When everything just feeds into itself and it's this nice little circle, you know? Storytelling. You may or may not have heard on my show that our next book club is going to be Watchmen related. We're going to be reading The Watchmen together this February.
And you're doing a book club about it coming in February?
And I am. I'm doing a book club. So this winter, you know, everybody get cozy, get your Snuggies on, get your fucking deal, get your hot cocoa, get your fire going, and read The Watchmen with me and thousands of other people around the world.
Live.
Yeah, and then we're going to be doing a live show about it every week. So for 6 weeks. It's a 6 weeks
And
class.
you're gonna read this book naked?
You can, if you want.
No, you're gonna read this book naked?
I mean, I might. But not on camera.
Aw, boo.
Yeah, well, fuck, if that's what it takes, god damn it. You guys want me to read this naked? Fine. You know, fuck. If that's what it takes.
Yes! Finally!
So excited to read this naked with you
Now
guys.
you've sold me.
I'll just be like this the whole video.
I'm naked. I'm
Yeah.
naked right now.
That's true. You guys are both naked.
I'm naked.
Yeah. So what's my problem?
Yeah, what's your problem?
What's my problem? You know, I don't know.
Maybe you should join my club, naked on camera.
I've been saving that one for when I'm really desperate, you know. But maybe this is it. You know, maybe this is it. So, naked Watchmen, naked book clubs.
Actually, you are naked on the bookmark.
That's true. I am a naked Dr. Manhattan, and it's going to be a holographic bookmark. So sick.
Is there nudity in Watchmen?
Yes, actually. There's totally penises in here.
Well, then it's perfectly appropriate. Naked book club.
Yeah, totally. This winter, let's do it. Let's all get naked. Let's all read The Watchmen. I think it's a no-brainer. Dr. Manhattan, it's good enough for him, you know? It's good enough for me.
Is this a joke or something? Maybe you should go ahead and tell people about how you buy this box.
Oh, that's true.
Fund the class.
Maybe we should talk about that, yeah.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box? Well, in your Watchmen box, you get a signed copy of The Watchmen. It'll also be stamped.
Is it signed by you?
It's signed by me, and it also is stamped. It says Watchmen Club on it. And then also, you get a holographic bookmark with me as Dr. Manhattan.
Holograms?
Yes, and then you also get a silicone bracelet that says Watchmen Club, so you can let all your homies know what's up.
You can wear it on your arm.
Wear it on your arm, or wherever. I mean, wherever it fits.
I know where it fits on me.
You can also...
It's the Naked Book Club. It's appropriate.
Oh, it's... Yeah. Not to mention our amazing sticker sheet that has all of us as Watchmen characters, and a robot iron-on comedian patch, as well as a Doomsday Clock enamel pin.
I want that patch.
Yeah, I want that pen too. So the pre-sale on our Watchmen box ends this month. Afterwards, we're going to be selling the items separately, so you can wait for that if you need to.
Only
the book.
a couple more weeks.
Yeah, only a couple more weeks.
Buy now.
No! Shit.
Start that Naked Book Club already.
I know. At least I have a cute bra on today.